Welcome back to On the Ground. So, I looked at to see what options I had available as far as addressing that surface rust on the front hubs. I stopped here at the AutoZone. I considered using fluid film, and I was looking at VHT paint versus Rust-Oleum. They have Rust-Oleum, but they don't have the VHT paint that I was looking for. And yesterday I referred to the paint as caliper paint, but it was actually roll bar and chassis paint that I was referring to, that you don't need a primer. But another thing I was looking at, CRC rust inhibitor, which is actually better than fluid film. Fluid film's pretty good, but the CRC stuff's better. It's marine grade. So I'm gonna go to the Advanced Auto Parts store and see if I can find what I need. So just stay tuned and I'll update you on that. Yeah, the caliper paint, you have to put that in the oven. I don't know how I got it mixed up, but so I'll get back with you and see what I find. Okay, see you later. Welcome back there, YouTube. So the previous little section I stopped at AutoZone, they didn't have what I was looking for. So I went to Advanced Autos. I thought maybe they had some other rust inhibitors from CRC. I was aware, according to their website, they had some VHT roll bar and chassis paint. And so I went there and they had some. So I was able to get that in satin. I just got one can. I think that should be enough. Hopefully, because that's all they had. And so we're going to try that. I got to clean the surface off, apply that, and I'll show you that. But so I got that. But yeah, I did some research and Googling to see what I could find about quality paint, which I was aware VHT was pretty good paint, but I will be it on rollerblades. I was just seeing what else is out there, but VHT seems to be pretty good as far as something like that. You could use caliper paint, but that would require me to take the hub off, clean it, prime it, apply that paint, a few coats, and bake it on in the oven for, I don't remember how many hours. I didn't want to do that. I don't have the torque specs right now for those wheel hubs, and I need that, so I'm going to try to do like I said and paint it while it's still mounted, but I got to tape it up and stuff like that. So I'll get back with you here shortly. Okay, I'm back. So what I think I'm gonna do, what I decided to do, it's a little late, so I'm not going to really get to do too much this evening. It's, just wasn't able to get out here sooner. Anyways, so I took the wheel off to expose the hub, and the part of the rim that mates to the surface is, you can see that, is this part. Okay, but the rest of it's exposed. Now, I don't know why, but the other side, as you can see, that's where that rust shows. Again, not a real big deal, just surface rust. Can be sanded, wiped off and sanded, and wrapped up a little bit for the paint I'm about to show you I'm going to use. But anyways, we're going to have to tape off this to protect the brake caliper and the rotor, and up here for overspray, and up around here. I'm going to try to record some of that, as long as my phone don't die on me. But I'm going to show you the stuff I got. It's nothing real fancy. I'm going to use garbage bags to cover up the machine and stuff. That's all I have right now. I don't have no paper or newspapers. But got a little bit of this tape. And this is the stuff I'm going to use. VHT roll bar and chassis for this. So I'm going to do the front, but I'm not going to do it today because it's kind of too late in the evening. It's cool. But I'm going to go ahead and prep it and stuff like that. And I'm going to show you me doing that. And hopefully it's not going to be too breezy or windy when I actually do it, so that it's not spraying all over or blowing all over the place. But we'll need to tape this off, and maybe this here, this whole little piece, and the lug nuts, and all this, so that we're just painting, you know, parts of this. And I'll probably take this part off where it mounts, because on the back of the rim you can see that only this part touches the hub itself. The rest of it's not actually touching. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'll record some of me taping it. So here we go. Hopefully you'll be able to see a good portion of it. It's nothing fancy, but you know, if you're in the same kind of situation, you don't really like the way it looks when it gets rusted up. I mean, again, I know it's a four-wheeler. I just took a garbage bag and split one side of it. I'll probably use this tape here. Tape off up here. Maybe. Let's see here. That's all I have to work with right now. I think that'll be just fine for what I'm going to need it for. Get a general idea how we want to do it. I'm just kind of playing it by ear. You know, protect this part. And tape it off. No, I don't need to tape it off really. But, so, yeah, it's just, yeah, I'll probably tape some of it off to hold it back out of my way. So, do it about like this. I'm gonna wipe it off and clean it tomorrow. I just want to go ahead and kind of get this part done. Just take, what you can do is just take like a dish detergent and warm water and wipe this off. Maybe screw the Scotch-Brite first on both sides, and then take I got like 320, 400, 600, 800 grit. That probably will work just enough just to scratch it up. And I'll probably put some of this tape over this section. I'm gonna clean it up first, this section, but I'll probably take a marker or something, mark it, and then tape it off, and then paint. And I'll take this off too. So let's get to it. It'll probably be a time lapse. Hopefully it's not too much. Well, actually, I might wait on the bottom section because I want to wipe that off a little bit first and clean it and stuff. And I don't want this to catch it. I'll put this on after I finish that. But it'll pretty much be the same process. So this, you know, it's kind of ideal for this. You just put it here, kind of tape it like this. Maybe put something to weigh it down, a rock or a brick or something. Maybe take another one and then complete it up to here. That way it's kind of contained right here, you know. But you put tape one and tape it up there, put you something to weigh it down here and something to weigh it up here to catch any, and just tape here, tape here, tape here, tape here. After you clean it, rough it up, and just, well, tape it here too. But and then a few coats, that's all it amounts to. So, yeah, and then do that on the other side. And then, again, that'd be another piece here. Kind of like completing a big circle. You know, that way it collects anything on a new machine you don't want paint on it. I mean, it's a four-wheeler, but still. And then the same on the rear, and the same on the other. So what it'll kind of look like, I think. And y'all show, I may include in this video, or I just may make another one of me actually doing it. And I'll just use this for, but it'll be something like, let's see if I got it. Poke a little hole in it. Just kind of, you know, well, something like this. A little bit better, but, you know, get the general idea. And then tape this here and tape this. You want to tape them too. And maybe this. It's not a big deal. See, they paint this part, but they don't paint this. And they know what they're doing. So you want to make sure you don't, where the actual, because I don't plan on putting aftermarket wheels or tires on it. If I do, I may have to come back and re-sand off what I've painted. It's pretty soft surface, but I'll sand it up a little bit. Make sure I don't put any paint, and hopefully it won't peel. But anyways, put some, but you'll just be painting here, and painting here, basically where it rusts. And then, yeah, and then it should be roughly the same color as this, and it won't stick out. But yeah, so, and then tape here. So yeah, that gives you a general idea what it's gonna look like. And I'll finish that. I just ran out of time today because I had to go somewhere. Well, I had to go get this. I had to walk. It's about a 30-minute walk because the other auto parts store didn't have it. I mean, it was a nice day today. It's nice and cool. But I want the paint to get through some of that marigold. But so that's that. Yeah, so that's that. So that's what I'm gonna do. Now again, this side for some reason just gets a little worse. I guess it's more exposed to moisture or something. But yeah, this is that splash guard I was mentioning in my earlier videos. I just wasn't aware that it existed or was there, surprisingly. But that doesn't matter. But again, you know, you look and you see, it's a little dark, but you know, the quality, if I can get the focus, of Honda welds, for example, and just overall construction. That's what I'm talking about. It matters when you're talking about ATVs. Because like I've said, I learned to ride ATVs before I learned to drive a car. When I could barely just sit, like right here, my feet probably here, steering. My grandpa. And I'm 40 years old. I've been riding a long time. And over time you see, in rugged terrains in southern West Virginia, and if you've been to Hatfield McCoy trails, you have a good idea. Of course, those are maintenance trails. The local trails and the trails I rode on weren't maintenance, so they were very rugged and rough. And when you're riding in that terrain regularly, the machine has to hold together. You can't start rattling loose, and it has to be able to absorb impacts and hold together. And Hondas do real well for that. They're rough, and Polaris's are soft, but Can-Ams, you don't see too many of them down there. But I want to talk on that again about the engine, how heavy it is. When you have that heavy of a motor, and you're riding rough terrain regularly on those machines, that's why you see motor mounts broke, because they must have not did rigorous testing to see if it could handle it. When you're driving on them machines, and because they got a lot of horsepower and speed, it's almost going to come natural. You're going to be tempted to ride as fast. When I had the brute force, I did the similar thing, so I know the experience. It doesn't matter if it has as much horsepower. The principle and concept's the same. You hit them whoops, and that machine may not be able to just absorb that properly, and you're putting impact on the machine and the frame and chassis and welds and where the motor mounts. And that, when you hit a whoop or a bump, or you send it right into a mud hole, it hits the resistance of that water, and that motor's still moving forward, So them mounts have to hold that motor in place, and they can't just hold that much weight if it's not properly secure. With the right bolts, the right fasteners, the right welds, the right type of motor mounts, that's I believe they could have done a lot better job in this. I don't know why they did it the way they did, and I do have a feeling it's the same chassis, but with heavier engines and heavier motors. And those engines, when you rev them up, all that horsepower and torque, 100 horsepower on a 1000cc engine is a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of power, but you need the right kind of frame and chassis for that type of engine. And I don't think they did that. And that's the thing I caution people about. If you plan on paying good money for what you think's a good machine, you need to be aware. And that CVT, the roller bearings, the torque bearings, the one-way bearing, there's some issues there. And that's just, in my opinion, that doesn't seem like very good engineering. I mean, it mechanically, it exists, but, it's wise to take my advice. I have pretty good years of experience with these machines. I mean, it's a very common thing to ride them regularly where I come from. You just get on the machine and you go to your neighbors, you go to McDonald's, you go down the road daily. More maybe than getting in your pickup truck. For years, it's a common thing. And I'm not the only one that does it. So, you see a lot of Hondas there because we know those hold together, especially like that 300. Yeah, you'll feel tired after a day of riding in that rugged terrain, but they hold up over time. They still that one still runs. That one's on a farm in Wisconsin, but in southern West Virginia, they hold up too. I mean, Can-Ams, it's going to start rattling loose. Polaris rattles loose. But Japanese engineers and the engines and the machines, they do pretty good. So that probably could include enough for this one. I may work on the brakes. I plan on doing more today, but I just didn't get up till late. It takes me a while to wake up, and I had things to do. Oh yeah, note to self: I put the lug nuts in here. If I can't find it, that's a reminder to you. But so yeah, I'll tape this side up. There's no reason for me to show you that. You understand? And I'll come out here and I'll maybe show you me cleaning it and sanding it down and painting it, and maybe the rears too. It's going to be basically the same process. So I'll see you again here next time on the ground. And if you like the content, click the like button. If you want to see more, click the subscribe. But I'll see you again here next time on the ground. Okay, so I finished this side for now. I mean, that should be enough for what I need it to. I'll tomorrow I'll clean this up, prep it, and put some stuff underneath it and spray it. I think that spray it dries within like 30 minutes or something. It's pretty quick. It's just kind of getting late and cool. It's supposed to be in the 70s tomorrow, so I'll try to get out here early, do it, let it dry and stuff until it's dry enough. Mount the wheel back on it, torque it. I think it's 47 feet-pounds. I found the torque specs. I have a torque wrench, and then I'll set her back down and then do the rears the same way. And I'll probably record that too and show you the after. But you got a general idea. It's not a complicated process, and I may show you me doing it. And I may take the front wheels off of the 300 tomorrow as well, and see about servicing those brakes and replacing the front brake pads on that one. Maybe put the fenders back on it and stuff. Update the pictures on Marketplace for selling it. But it's worth $1,500. At minimum $1,000, but I don't want anything really less than that. Unless I'm giving it to somebody that's less fortunate. People got money, it's worth that. It'll do what you need it to. So, see you again here next time on the ground.